Hello Year 10. I'm going to talk you through the crime revision booklet that we're setting for home learning the next couple of weeks. The first page gives you an instruction list for the slides, but I'm just going to run through it and show you each tasks as well. So this hopefully will be, as I say, a review of all the crime point stuff that you've already studied. Hopefully a lot will be familiar. So the first one on slide 2 is around knowledge. I'll go through each of these. Then some knowledge organisers for a few extra details into the gap fill exercise for all 4 time periods, and there are some quick questions to check your specific factual detail, the stuff that you know to put in questions. And slides 13 to 15, there's a whole variety of exam questions. What we'd like you to try and do is have each of the styles of exam questions. So that's 1 marker, or 12 marker, and a 16 marker. We'll remind you about each of those from these slides. And if we could send the exam questions to your history teacher for marking and feedback. Alternatively, on slide 16, we have put the general mark schemes. You can have a go at self-assessing your work. Some of you are getting fantastic at doing things, so giving it another go. So we'll start at the beginning. The first page you've got is a page with basically that specification on. So effectively, you should be able to tell me about all the things in this list here. So you've covered everything in the lessons. You've now got to try and remember it. So we've got rating here. So red, yep, remember it. Don't know anything about it. Amber, I can remember it. Probably need to read it. Green, you're quite confident with that. We've given you extra, so when you've gone through that particular section, but you're on that, then you can often say, I've revisited it. More confident with it now. I would suggest you also start with to see what gaps are, but 2, teach yourself about the different things that you have actually studied for this. So that's the first task. Second task are a series of knowledge organised like this one. There's a little bit of an introduction here from the specification. Against key questions and key terms or concepts. You'll notice the key events have been filled in. What you need to do is fill in the answers to the key questions and find the key terms to put there. Remember, sometimes throwing an examination is just a word that they use something. So making sure you know what all of these are will really help when you access those exam questions. So that's for medieval England. You've got one for the early modern period, exactly the same setup, 18th and 19th centuries or the industrial period, and then recent times, modern times. So all set up in the same way. You've then got a sort of fill in the gaps over the next few minutes. Again, it covers all of the time periods, just as a review of all the things you covered. All the words you need at the bottom. So as you fill in, you can cross off. Are only used as many times as they are here. So don't think you can use one of them. It's only in the table at the bottom once. You've got one for medieval, one for early modern, one for the 18th and 19th centuries, and modern as well. So again, just a review of all the time periods you've looked at in terms of crime punishment. We then get to sort of specific detail. So grid here on the next slide, there are all sort of little questions for factual details that would be useful for you to know so that you can have them into exam questions. So all you need to do on here, could be a note format, is just write down what the answers are. What is poaching? Why was trial by order used? All you need to do is a quick note of an answer. This is supposed to be sort of a quick type thing for you to work through. First one. Second continues on that. There are a couple that refer to Whitechapel, which obviously you haven't covered yet. You may be able to find them out, but if you realise that they are actually a little bit out of what you've covered, don't panic. So it's these ones down here, the last few. On the previous page, it's sort of row here, okay? But you have to find them out. Right? That's the specific factual detail quick quiz that we've got. And then we've got tables with lots of different exam questions in. Now, like I said, we'd like you to try and do one of each style. I would put them across the different time periods. Don't just pick them all from medieval. Make sure you pick from different time periods. So remember, your full mark questions are explaining a way in which something is similar or different between 2 time periods. So if you look at just the first one here, then one way in which attitudes to poaching in the 11th century were different attitudes to poaching in the 17th century. So you need to tell me what were the attitudes to the poaching in the 11th century, and then how are they different to attitudes in the 17th century. Remember, you simply need to show difference and give evidence from each of the time periods or an example from each of the time periods to get those 4 marks. It doesn't have to be a massive answer. 12-mark questions, and we're saying to you how paragraphs 3. And the reason you know it is always 2 of the bullet plus something else. So your question for 12 marks will always be explain why something happens. So in this case, we've got explain why the church sometimes hindered justice. Hindered means held it back in the period 1000 to 1500. Explain why the Normans made changes to crimes and punishments after the Norman conquest. Explain why trial by ordeal was used 1000 to 1200. That's exactly the format all the way, and you will always be given 2 bullet points. The only thing you need to do is you don't have to use them, but know they're right. So if you know something about these bullet points, it's worth using them because you'll know they're relevant for that particular question. To get the 12 marks, you need to do a third one. You need to come up with one of your to show that you have wider knowledge. But you need to do 3 paragraphs, so point, evidence, explain, and link back to the question for your 12 mark. Okay. We'll go on to the next page to look at the 16, just looking at a different time period. So your 16 marker will always be a statement or a quote, and how far do you agree? And you've got to explain your answer. Again, they will always give you 2 bullet points they started. You do not have to use them, they are right, they are relevant. You must think again on the basis of you're going to need at least another thing in that answer to get the top level. Now, the idea with these is you're going to try and show a bit of balance here. So you're going to show what with the statement, what agrees with the statement, and what disagrees with the statement. And then you're going to make a final judgment. The final judgment is those extra 4 marks from 12 to 16. So you've got to break up, you've got to give the for example, look at this one, the role of Robert Peel, mainly for the development of the police force 1629. Could you argue that he was, he sets up the Merton police force? Could you pick up on the fact that people like Henry Field were doing things earlier than that, and maybe they are the ones that are the driving force in the development of the force? And you need to think of something else to talk about as well. Okay, so it might be you talk about earlier things like what or not watchmen that have been used, just to kind of give a wider reference. Okay, so you've got those. Then again, you've got another page that's got modern science and technology had the big effect on policing, 1900 to the present. Do you agree? So yes, I do think it has because of development of things like DNA, fingerprinting, so on. You might also actually, it's not the science and technology, it's the fact that have specialised more, so they focus in on particular crimes by particular groups. So again, thinking about yes and no to this answer, and backing that up, and then making your final decision at the end, which one you think is. There is no wrong answer to these questions. It's what you think as long as you back it up. Let's have a go at marking. You've got all of the mark schemes on that last page. We have actually given you here, just so you know, there are 4 mark spelling grammar here. Actually on paper 2, which is where this is, you don't actually get these, so it is just out of 16. Okay, you've got mark there and a 16 mark. So if there's any problems, email your history, they will help.